a shot.
It's time for the Tulsa Roughnecks FC pregame show with your hosts, Jeremy Poplin and Dave Saunders.
Hi everyone, and welcome into One Oak Field tonight here in downtown Tulsa, where we are finally back home for another edition of Tulsa Roughnecks Soccer. Welcome in everyone. I'm Jeremy Poplin, joined by Dave Saunders, my partner in crime on the radio side and on the YouTube feed, and we are so excited to finally be back at home. And what, Dave, it's been a month since we've been back in the friendly confines of One Oak Field, and tonight's matchup with St. Louis is just a few moments away. We need to recap how the last month has gone, and we shall start first with at the end of April when the Roughnecks traveled to San Antonio to face the new San Antonio FC. Very, very beautiful stadium and gorgeous setup there at Toyota Field, and a new team that is new to this league that has a lot of hype behind them coming in. And the Roughnecks, I thought, Dave, got off to a great start in San Antonio, and at one point were all even at one, but then the bottom fell out from underneath them. And I know David Irving has been extremely upset for the type of goals that have been scored, because the one thing that I've noticed over the last month is that a lot of these teams haven't come in and just carved up the Tulsa defense or carved them up through the midfield. This has been self-inflicted wounds that we've seen now for the last month, and it all started in San Antonio.
Frustrating as a coach, isn't it? When you prepare and then you give away soft goals, and nobody wants to give away soft goals. Your keeper doesn't want it, your defence doesn't want to do it, and certainly your coach doesn't want to do it. And as you said, Pop, it was looking good, and I thought, okay, we're going to take a point away. We would have been happy with that. A point away from home is always a good thing. But unfortunately, as you said, the bottom did fall out rather in that game.
No, it did. And the good thing about this is that we have plenty of more opportunities to kind of exact some revenge from the San Antonio side. But I know that was a very disappointing loss to get back on the bus and to have to head back home with expectations heading into our Pacific Northwest trip. I thought, though, with the way that they were able to respond with the short week, because we arrived back on Sunday morning, we're on a plane by Tuesday heading to Vancouver to play on Wednesday night. Vancouver game, I thought, started off perfectly, and finally we've been waiting for someone to step up, and the captain is the one that did so, and that's Sammy Ochoa. And when Sammy Ochoa is active the way that he's been over the last several weeks, absolutely on fire. By the way, his celebration at Vancouver still makes me laugh to this day, rolling around towards the corner flag. But this is what this team needed. They needed the veteran to step up and finally start to score.
When your goal scorer's on form, there's nothing better, and they all went and celebrated with him. And not only that, he's your captain, and he is leading by example, and that has been really great to see Sammy Ochoa finding the back of the net. And as you said, up in Vancouver, that celebration, we all loved it, and it was a tough schedule, wasn't it? Like you say, it was a quick turnaround, but the positives from that game, Sammy Ochoa scoring goals.
No, he did, and as a matter of fact, he got 2 in that game, and we'll talk about how his continued rise up the board as far as goals are concerned here in just a few moments. The frustrating thing, obviously, about Vancouver is the way that ended. I thought, coming off of a loss, great response. Now it's about putting everything together and being able to play a full 90, and then depending on how much stoppage time that you have. But to lose that game in the final minutes the way that they did, utterly heartbreaking.
It really was. I mean, we were listening to you on the radio back here in Tulsa, rubbing our eyes, because it was very, very late back here, of course, with the 2-hour swing, and we thought, this is looking good. Again, we're going to take a point, at least, maybe 3, and then the ending came, and it is so disappointing. When you lose a game of soccer, it's disappointing enough, but when you lose it so late on, it really is heart-wrenching.
No, it absolutely was. We got back on the bus. The first thing that David Irving told the team back on the bus day was, hey, we've got to keep our heads up. Those type of losses are going to happen, knowing that we had a few days rest to get ready to prepare for Seattle on Sunday. Now, unfortunately, coming out of the Vancouver game, we suffered a few more injuries in that process. One of those is Carlos Martinez, who's going to be out for a few weeks. Christian Mata now is going to be in a boot. He will not be out of that boot until the 1st of June. The injuries are starting to mount up. Davern couldn't go on the trip. We know how big of a loss that's been, even from veteran leadership side. They did bring in McLeod, and I thought that Kyle's done a great job so far, and that's a tough spot to put a new player in. He signed on Monday, got on a plane on Tuesday, and ended up in the starting 11 on Wednesday. You want to talk about putting a lot of pressure on a young man with a lot of teammates that he hasn't had a chance to develop any type of chemistry with.
From what I've seen, I haven't seen him live, of course, but from what I've seen, a great signing. And as you say, very, very difficult to come in and start gelling with a team, with teammates that you haven't met before. Really good signing. And coming back to injuries, unfortunately, it's part and parcel of the game, isn't it? That, you get injuries. And the Roughnecks have had a pretty rough time of it, haven't they? And Coach Irvin is having to juggle people around. And as you say, when you have key figures like Dav, who's out, we can't wait for him to get back and show us all what he can do. It's tough times at the moment.
No, it is. And this is, though, what I love about this team. I love their fight and I love their passion that they have for this sport, because one day of training, because Dave Irvin decided to give them some time off to get ready to prepare for Sunday, just one day of training, then they came back on that Sunday. They've had a lot of success at Starfire, which is supposed to be one of the tougher places to play in all of USL. Now 2-0 at Starfire after the big 2-1 win, and again, number 9 comes through in a crunch. I know he was pumped about having the opportunity to go back and play in Seattle. The former Sounder himself from the first team was fired up and ready to go, and he made his presence felt one more time.
I mean, it's great when you're a number 9 and you score goals, but to go and do it on your old patch, there is nothing better than to just look up and look around and smile and give them the thumbs up. It was great again, and Sammy Ochoa keeps scoring goals. And if he can help lead us through this, bless him, that is fantastic for the club. And it was a great win, and great for all of you up there, and great for all of us again listening back here. To get that win was fantastic.
And I think it did a lot for the camaraderie of this team as well, to be able to kind of experience that together on the road, away from home, and be able to have those true bonding moments. We come back and the road trip continued one more time for the final week. We head to Swope Park for the Saturday night game, and again, Sammy Ochoa comes up big. At that point, you're thinking this team is going to be able to find a way to maybe salvage a point on the road in the second meeting between the two, and then unfortunately another goal late in this game in which the Roughnecks end up falling. And again, it seems like it's the same story. It's little mistakes here and there. A giveaway at midfield that results in a breakaway with a nice ball that's played in over the top. Not really much Feener could do coming out to challenge the Pasher one-on-one, and then another giveaway later on in the game which resulted in a goal. I know that is truly frustrating at times, but again, I keep going back to the point that keeps being brought up to me. And every single defensive player will tell you this. I had a nice conversation with Gary Chinnerazzo after the game. He said, "Pop, this is not anyone carving us up. These are little mistakes that we are able to correct." And the injuries have mounted up. Maybe it's a little bit of a confidence issue right now that's taking place with the Roughnecks. But I get the sense that they are just right there on the verge of being able to turn this thing completely around.
Yeah, we're only losing by 1 goal, aren't we?
Yes.
It's a 3-2 or it's a 2-1. So we can't be too far away. And as Gary Chinnerazzo said to you, nobody is coming in and beating us 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. Little mistakes do happen. Unfortunately, when you're a goalkeeper and you make a mistake, they're the ones that really feel it, aren't they? But if you're a midfielder, sometimes you'll lose a ball in midfield and you get away with it 9 times out of 10. Unfortunately, we're getting punished for those mistakes. It was a brave performance again at Swope Park. I thought, we deserved something out of the game. We've come away with a 2-1 defeat. We mustn't be down for too long. We've got to pick ourselves up and get ready for the next game.
Before we head to an interview conducted with David Irving, there was another signing as well last week before we went to Swope Park. That's Gus Villalobos, who spent some time in Malta, who got the start on last Saturday. I know the coaches were very impressed with his very first performance. You'll have the chance to see him tonight for the first time in person. There's lots of excitement surrounding him, but the injuries have mounted up a bit. Chinnerazzo still playing on the left side. Hopefully at some point Raymond Lee can come back and move Gary over to his more natural spot. Personally, I feel like David Abador, and I know you've talked about him on our broadcast, has been put into a tough position, a position that he isn't fairly comfortable with yet. But if you look at the opponents that David Abador has had to play against, he played against Anderson in Seattle against Sounders 2. Anderson took a ball and blew past DeAndre Yedlin in a World Cup qualifier last season and left DeAndre Yedlin, who's one of the fastest players in American soccer, left him in his dust. And that's a tough role to ask someone that's not used to playing a position like that. Pasher, 77, who scored for Swope Park, had incredible pace. And David Abador's having to been lined up across from some of the best offensive players that we've seen. seen. I've been impressed with David Abidor so far.
And we were impressed with Pasha, by the way, when he played here
Yes.
at One Oak. But we first saw David Abidor go to left back. It fooled me and you, didn't it, in commentary, when we thought that the injury to Lee up at St. Louis. In comes Abidor, and I thought Dav will go to left back. I've said this before, and David Abidor will go to the right. No. David kept him at left back. He did extremely well. He's now gone to right back. He can play, as we know, in front of the back four. He's one of those players that the coach looks around and says, I need someone to do that job. There's the man. He puts his hand up and says, Coach, I'll do it. He's a great, great player, does a lot of the dirty work that you don't see, not the flashy parts of the game, but he does a great, great job, and I agree with you. I've been really impressed with him so far.
Absolutely. We had a chance to catch up with David Irving, the head coach of the Tulsa Roughnecks, and we asked him a question about all the injuries that are mounting up and what he's had to do as far as having this rotating starting 11 for tonight's match.
Been unfortunate with injuries so far. Christian Madder hasn't really kicked a ball. He's got an ankle problem. Dav's had a hamstring problem, and Rayleigh's groin. Carlos Martinez broken toe. So we have a small squad anyway, and with all these injuries and some niggles, Henry hasn't been 100%. Players playing with little knocks and bruises hasn't helped our cause. But obviously, tough game against St. Louis. Then we got a little break that we may be able to recover and get most of our players back. But we have a small squad anyway. But tonight we got to get a win.
All right, thank you to David Irving for joining us tonight before tonight's game against St. Louis. You heard David Irving there talking about some of the challenges with the lineup and some of the injuries that they've had. One area that the Roughnecks have not had any issue with as of late, and that is scoring from their captain, Sammy Ochoa. It would be nice. Now, 5 goals in the last 3 games. He's been on an incredible roll. I know he was coming off of a great high from scoring 2 goals in Seattle, where he spent a lot of time previously in his career, but it would be great to see this side come back home and to see number 9 put one in the net here at One Oak Field.
Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing better than scoring in front of your own fans, and Sammy will want to do that more than anybody. I mean, he loves his club. You see him out there with his family after the game, and he loves captaining the side. He loves playing the sometimes lone role up in number 9, and he would love nothing more than to score tonight. 1 or 2, maybe a hat-trick would be nice. And, again, he's one of those players that I'm sure the coach writes down straight away on his team sheet and says, this guy is going to lead you. Look at him on the field. Look at the way he leads you. So long may it continue. 3 matches, 5 goals. Let's see it here at One Oak, and I'm sure he can do that.
The captain, number 9, one of the leaders on this team, and also by far one of the best celebrations I've seen so far this season after the goal in Vancouver. And for the second time in the history of this club, he was named as the USL Player of the Week. Here's our conversation with Sammy Ochoa.
Well, you know what? 5 goals in the 3 games. I've been lucky to find the back of the net. Been in the right spots at the right time. Teammates are getting me involved, and just got to finish my chances inside the box. So if I get a chance in the box, hopefully it goes in. But I got to be there to have a chance.
All right, thank you to Sammy Ochoa for taking a few minutes before tonight's matchup. Well, we're finally back at home. Feels great to be back at One Oak Field as we get set for tonight's matchup, and a familiar face back in town who, coming off of a 1-game suspension after serving a red card, had an incredible goal also in that game. But Chad Bond, number 8, back at One Oak Field here tonight. We saw a little bit of gamesmanship back and forth between Chad and Davrin when we were both in St. Louis, and what a great back and forth that was between those 2 roommates. Chad Bond's one of our favorites. It'll be great to see him back here on the field, but we don't wish him very much success here tonight.
As you were talking then, I was going to say it'd be lovely to see him back. It's a terrible game, Chad, and we'll see you afterwards for a beer. But that was a great matchup, wasn't it, between Dav and Chad? And they really went, 2 professional soccer players going at it for 90 minutes, and at the end of the game they hugged each other, and it was a 0-0 draw. Let's hope we can go 3 points against them. It's one of our kind of local teams, if you like. What is it, 6 hours? It will be great to see them back. Great to see Chad, but let's put on a performance. And as you say, it's been a long time, so I hope the fans, will be here in force tonight and cheer those lads on to 3 points.
Is there anything that stood out to you the last time that we saw St. Louis up in St. Louis?
Well, I thought that the Roughnecks defended really well. There were a couple of opportunities for St. Louis very early on, and I'm sure David will talk about that. They were almost balls over the top, and it seemed to be that Alex Mangles, who's in goal, had to make a couple of saves early on. Then we had the injury to Lee, but they're a good side. I mean, they're solid. They seem to play a solid 4-4-2, actually, which we often smile about with David Irvin, don't we? But they do play a solid 4-4-2, and obviously Chad, pulls a lot of the strings in midfield. But I'm hoping the Roughnecks can come out and put on a performance and take all 3 points against St. Louis.
This is an important game here tonight at One Oak Field. St. Louis coming off the 2-0 loss in the Kings Cup at Louisville City. Roughnecks obviously coming off of their 2-1 loss up in Kansas City against Swope Park. And we thank all of you for being able to be with us here tonight at One Oak Field and watching us across YouTube. It'll be an exciting match tonight. It is great to be back home here at One Oak Field. And I still say this, it's the best backdrop in all of USL. For my partner David Saunders, I'm Jeremy Poplin. The kickoff is coming up next, right here from One Oak Field.
Stretched out to the middle, back to broke it up. There's a shot. They score! They score! Gerardo Forbes. That's it! Rochester
is led by head coach Dale Schilly. Assistant coaches are Tim Leonard and Brian Jones, and the athletic trainer is Brian Bounds. And now for the starting 11 for St. Louis FC. The goalkeeper is number 1, Mark Pace. Defender number 4, A.J. Cochran. Defender number 3, Sam Fink. Defender number 6, Parker Marr. Defender number 2, Richard Dixon. Midfielder number 14, James Musa. Midfielder number 8, Chad Bond. Midfielder number 18, Drew Connor. Midfielder number 15, Mike Ambersley. Forward number 25, Brandon Barklage. And forward number 19, Irvin Herrera. And now, here are tonight's reserves for your Tulsa Roughnecks FC. Goalkeeper Alex Mangles. Defender Anthony Peters. Forward Taylor Morgan. Midfielder Carlos Martinez. Midfielder Bulobi. Defender Raymond Lee. Midfielder Christian Mata. Defender Mason Grimes. Forward Kyle McLeod. And midfielder Adriano Pellegrino. And now here are the officials for tonight's match. The referee is Cuauhtémoc Delgadillo. Assistant referees are Travis Height and Brandon Gardner, and the fourth official is Wade Beal. The Roughnecks are led by head coach David Irving, assisted by Tom Taylor, Mac Orr, and Ryan Ego, and joined by athletic trainer Kobe Smith and team doctor Dr. John E. Ariala. And now for your Tulsa Roughnecks starting 11. The goalkeeper is number 25, Jake Feener. Defender number 2, Gary Chinarazzo. Defender number 4, Matt Watley. Defender number 24, Brady Ballou. Defender number 5, David Amador. Midfielder number 20, Jason Ramos Carpio. Midfielder number 7, Henry. Midfielder number 3, Irla Tavarin. Midfielder number 17, Gus Villalobos. Midfielder number 10, Kaleem. And forward number 9, Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, remove your caps, and stand at attention as Fused Duo performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Feener across the back line, Gary Chinarazzo with Matt Watley and David Abador in the middle. Brady Ballou will get the start on one of the outside defender spots. Gustavo Villalobos will be in the middle along with Henry, Irla Davrin, and Jason Ramos Carpio. And up top is Kaleem and Sammy Ochoa, the captain, who has scored 5 goals in the past 3 games. That is tonight's starting 11, and we will take one final timeout and come back and be ready to go here on your home for the Tulsa Roughnecks, 1300 The Buzz.
The following is a message from the Bud Light Party.
Right. Today, we're grabbing a few Bud Lights to talk about the serious, like renewable energy. There's solar, there's wind. What other weather can we put to work for Americans? How about rain energy? Can we harness the power of fog or thunder snow? That's a real thing. What if thunder snow energy could charge our cell phones? Figure it out, science. This message approved by the Bud Light Party. Raise one to right now. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
A seatbelt can stop you from going into a store. A seatbelt can stop you from climbing a tree. It can stop you from flying or from rolling down a hill. A seatbelt can stop you from doing a lot of things, like crushing bones and damaging vital organs. It can even save your life. That's why we enforce seatbelt laws, to save lives. So buckle up every trip, every time. Click it or ticket. Paid for by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
It's time to get this match started.
Yeah!
Eli from outside the 18-yard box with an absolute laser.
This is Roughneck Soccer on 1300 The Buzz. Roughneck Soccer is brought to you by Bank of Oklahoma, Admiral Sportswear, Court Furniture. There when you need it, gone when you don't. McDonald's. If you would like to learn how to participate in the McDonald's starting 11, contact Matt Bishop at 918-574-8318. The News on 6. Case & Associates. And your local Green Country Chevy dealers. This is Tulsa Roughnecks Soccer. Now, let's head out to the stadium with the play-by-play voice of your Tulsa Roughnecks, Jeremy Poplin.
Well, greetings everyone, and welcome into One Oak Field here in downtown Tulsa, Oklahoma, as we get set for tonight's USL matchup between the Tulsa Roughnecks and St. Louis FC. I'd like to welcome those of you not only listening in on the radio side here on 1300 The Buzz in Tulsa, but those of you watching in on YouTube as well. St. Louis is one of my favorite cities in the world, and both of us, along with my partner Dave Saunders, have a appreciation for the passion that the city of St. Louis and the Midwestern part of the country has for this great sport. Speaking of my partner, let's welcome in David Saunders.
Thanks, Pop.
Great
really
to be back home, isn't it?
I tell you what, man, it really is. I can't wait for this one. Over to you for the kickoff. Let's have a great night for the Roughnecks.
Roughnecks currently sitting at 7 points so far on the season. St. Louis comes in with 11, and we are ready to go and underway here in downtown Tulsa. Welcome in, everyone, on a beautiful night here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Overcast. Temperature is absolutely perfect. As a matter of fact, the official weather forecast for tonight's match is provided by the News on 6 meteorologist Travis Meyer. The weather for kickoff is currently 74 degrees.
Very pleasant conditions and a beautiful pitch out there as the long ball from St. Louis goes forward, and that will be no harm whatsoever for the man in all yellow tonight. That's Jake Feener.
Jake Feener from Seattle University. Teammates of Brady Ballou, who is in the starting lineup this evening as well. Both of them played at Seattle U. And Feener sends this ball forward. This will be the first time that St. Louis has seen Jake Feener. Alex Mangels was the starting goalkeeper in the last match. Here is Kaleem towards the corner, and he is harassed there in the corner, and St. Louis wins initially. Abador comes up off the back line to head this one free, and it goes over the touchline and will result in a throw-in for St. Louis.
And there's our very versatile man, the utility player, David Abador. David Irvin saying to me in that interview, his best position is centre-back. Let's see how he gets on, because he hasn't played there for a while, and he's alongside the reliable Welshman Matt Watley at the heart of the defence.
There's a ball that's played back from Drew Connor, and St. Louis will build from the back now. Up towards midfield. Here's a ball that's played into the middle. Good header there on the outlet from Connor towards the byline, but it trickles over the top too much. Looking for Herrera, and a goal kick now for Jake Feener and the Tulsa Roughnecks.
Nice to see Brady Ballou back in the starting 11, Pop. Chinaratsu is going to continue at left back. I know he favours the right, but that's where Brady Ballou is. And Brady Ballou, as we know, is a very exciting attacking player, so we'll be expecting him almost to play as a wing back tonight.
There you see the record for Jake Feener so far this season. Feener coming in has allowed 6 goals. Mangels has allowed 8. Feener currently setting at 62% as far as his save rate is concerned. Roughnecks providing pressure in the back. That one Played off of Sammy Ochoa, and now a throw in on the opposite side. There's Sammy, the team captain, who has been on absolute fire as of late. 5 goals in the last 3 games for Sammy Ochoa, and he has come alive exactly when the Roughnecks have needed him the most. Throw in from Mayer. Play back to Pace. Pressure provided there. Pace sends forward. Patient is St. Louis. Over the top, Blue now. This is inside the 18 of the Roughnecks. Herrera pushes Brady off the ball, and the referee points to the corner now. So our first corner coming up, and it will be in favor of St. Louis.
Yeah, defending for the Roughnecks to do. Brady Ballou, as we said, in that right back role, so he'll have defending to do, but as I've already said, he will be looking at any opportunity to push forward. Nice to have David Abidor at centre back, and he's a big, tall, physical presence in there to defend this corner, along with Jake Feener, of course, in the net.
Set piece from the corner, played from Chad Bond. The opposite side of the box, settled there by Irla Davern, who is back from injury. Miss hit there from Connor. Connor now working against Chinarazzo, or excuse me, that's Herrera. Herrera giveaway, that's Villalobos, who was just signed last week by the Tulsa Roughnecks. Got a start the very next day up at Swope Park. Looking for Herrera, fighting against Chinarazzo. Looking for Connor in the middle. There's Kaleem, one touch to Davern. Good tackle there away from the ball by Dixon. And St. Louis now. Middle third of the field, just the opposite side of the center circle, up past the halfway point now. Here's Connor, who has been drifting all over the field, and a foul just on the opposite side of the halfway point.
As we know, David Irvin will keep us guessing with the formations, but it can be a 4-4-2. It suddenly turns into a 4-3-3, and sometimes it's even a 4-1-4-1, folks. So keep watching, because Henry's certainly playing in front of that back four, but they are going to turn it into attacking as soon as they can, almost in a 4-3-3, with Sammy Ochoa, of course, up front, well supported by Kaleem Carpio, and then, of course, Villalobos as well. So it's an exciting starting 11 from the Roughnecks.
Carpio did not allow that ball to get completed to Barklage, who was down the touchline. Throw in, and now they will switch fields to the opposite side. Here's Sam Fink. Fink dribbles towards the middle. Will drop back now for Cochran. Cochran to the opposite side as Chad Bond now receives centrally. Good ball from over the top from Bond. One touch to the middle of the field. That Abidor is there. Brings it down with the header to Irla Davern. Forward for Kaleem. Chinarazzo, overlapping run to the outside. Kaleem does not reward him with the ball. Probably the right decision, as Abidor now has plenty of time. Head up is David Abidor. Takes one dribble. Up past midfield to Chinarazzo, and knocked away there in front of the Scotsman.
Good to have Dav back, isn't it? And I'm sure he's looking forward to that matchup with Chad Bond. Kaleem getting clipped there, so it'll be a free kick to Roughnecks. But he's just a presence, isn't he? And I noticed, Pop, by the way, I think it's the 12th of May, he turned 30 years old, the grand age of 30, Irla Davern. Congratulations to him.
Well, unfortunately for Davern, it's all downhill from there, Dav. As soon as you hit that magic 3-0.
But it's great to have him back. He's
it is great,
yes. He's and a real leader on the pitch.
One of the last full 90s he played, as a matter of fact, was against St. Louis on the road.
Yeah, you're right. And he played very well that night, and I think he probably won on points the battle with the Welshman Bond.
There's the new signee, Villalobos, plays inside the 18. Header away from there as Davern settles. He has Blue to the outside. Glutes on the touchline. Touches back to the inside. Fortunate there to get away with it. Carpio, nice touch there in traffic, and then hacked down from behind, and results in another free kick coming up for the Roughnecks.
I think this is a good start from the Roughnecks. They've come out with a bit of zest here. You know, they know they've got to put on a performance tonight. I mean, it's too early to say they're must-win games, but a result is needed here. They must not lose this game tonight against St. Louis, who they've already gone up to St. Louis and got a 0-0 draw. You know, so there's nothing to fear here from the Roughnecks' point of view. I know that the St. Louis fans tuning in tonight will probably disagree with me and say there's a lot to fear. It's a good game so far, but a good start from the home side.
Here's the young Guatemalan 20-year-old Jason Carpio. Coach Irving found him at the Combine in Florida. Referee now wants the wall to maybe take one more step back. You can see Barklage in there. Maybe a tad bit nitpicky there. Just, what, 1/2 step back?
Yeah, no magic foam, is there, for the referees?
No, there is not.
But
this is where the old defender in me would have a few choice words for the official. Carpio plays in towards the back post and cleared away. Fink got a piece of it initially. Here's Chinarazzo. Great on the ground there from Ochoa. That's all that he could do with it, and played it in the right spot.
Yeah, good header down from Sammy Ochoa. Next best thing to do is a centre forward, isn't it? If you can't get a header or a shot on goal, you head it down for someone else. But again, good defending from St. Louis.
Long throw in over the top. One touch from Sammy. It kind of was free inside the 18 for a minute. There's a nice cut in, and Henry steps in front of Herrera to take away the angle. Abador to Davern. Davern one touch to the outside for Chinarazzo. Kaleem allowed the defender to get in front of him. Here we go to the outside for Ambersley. Ambersley cuts back in, has some options here to the outside. It's Drew Connor for Ambersley. Plays inside the box. There's a header that's there and a goal. Oh, what a fantastic service there from Ambersley. And he finds Herrera that was posted up inside the 6-yard box. And there's not one thing in the world that Feener could do about that, as he was just simply beat to the post. And St. Louis has come in and scored here early in the 10th minute.
Yeah, win taken out of the home side sails.
St. Louis
again.
goal coming in the 10th minute.
9 minutes.
Scored by
Ambersley,
number 15, Mike Ambersley.
The perfect cross from the right-hand side, and Herrera just had to get not even a full header on it. I mean, it's almost a glancing header. Here it is, and there's nothing, as you said, Feener can do about that. It was well placed. Feener in the centre of his goal, and that's a great goal. And unfortunately, the Roughnecks, they will have to come from behind again to get something out of this game. But let me say again, in the first 9 minutes, we're looking pretty solid and pretty good. So here we go again.
That's goal number 2 for Herrera on the season. Came in 5 games played, 350 minutes so far, and goal number 2. And you saw there on the replay as Kaleem now gets behind the defender, cuts towards the byline, and wins a corner kick now. The Roughnecks trying to respond, and we saw in the replay Herrera cut to the inside of Brady Ballou and kind of set in between Watley and Brady and was in the right spot. But bravo to Ambersley, because his first assist on the season was quite the look to the inside. To the opposite end we go. On the corner, in-swinger towards the back post. Oh, Davern was making a run. The defender got a clearance on it just in the nick of time. Davern had a full head of steam running towards the back post, and credit Cochran there to send it over the byline to the opposite side for another corner. Corner number 2, and the Roughnecks will play short. Here's Henry. Henry, step over move there from Abador, kind of tried to flick it there with the back heel. Henry now. Comes off of Kaleem, still loose. Carpio. And a foul on Carpio.
Just coming back to the goal, I mean, we credit the assist for Amnesty, but as you quite rightly pointed out, Pop, the sign of a good goal scorer is to get between the centre-back and the right-back, or the centre-back and the left-back, and that's exactly what Herrera did. He pulled away from his marker, and he got in between the central defender and Brady Ballou, as you said, playing at right-back. That's a quality piece of play to meet the cross, but the quality cross also made the goal. It really was a good goal from St. Louis.
And it's only Ballou's second start at right back this season. His previous one came Wednesday in the Open Cup at Des Moines, in which the Roughnecks were defeated by the Menace 2-0.
And I think with respect to the, well, I just come to, oh,
it's a great ball there to Kaleem, and unfortunate there, just unlucky. It took a bad hop. came up and hit Kaleem for a handball.
I was just going to say, with respect to the Open Cup and all the best to the teams that made it into the next round, but I think it is something the Roughnecks at the moment could do without. You know, they need to concentrate on the league. They've got lots of injuries. They've got a week off next week, you know, and they need time. They don't need fixture congestion. So, okay, well done to Des Moines. They've beaten the Roughnecks 2-0. But let's concentrate on this USL League.
Here's Pace. Of course, he is extremely familiar with Tulsa, having played at TU. He started 8 games in goal last year. 24 years old. Spent some time at St. Louis U as well. Billiken and Golden Hurricane. Nice look there from Dav over the top. Has Kaleem. Now Chinarazzo in the support position. Chinarazzo one time with the left foot towards the back post. Pace up in the air and collects this one easily in front of Sammy Ochoa. And the Roughnecks will be turned away here in the 14th minute, trailing 1-0.
Kaleem and Chinarazzo linking up well there. It's good to see Gary Chinarazzo way up there. Probably his least favourite foot, the left foot, but it's still a decent cross. But Pace was there to pluck it out of the evening sky. And it remains, as you say, Pop, 1-0 to the visitors.
Here's Dixon. Dixon with a good ball there, a bit too deep. It looked like from this angle it might have been played out more towards Herrera. A bit too deep on the angle from Dixon. Here's Henry, center circle. Villalobos to the outside. Has Ballou. Ballou up the touchline for Sammy. Sammy trying to hold up there. 2 defenders knock it away from him, and here comes St. Louis with a tad bit more possession, and now they will get Sammy with a foul on the opposite side.
Do you know, it's a very fluid midfield now. The referee wants a word with Sammy Ochoa for a little bit of dissent. Just to come back to the midfield for the Roughnecks, the only fixture, if you like, is Henry. They're playing number 7 in the centre, in front of those 2 centre-backs, and then you've got, you know, really 4 other guys that are being very, very fluid in the midfield. So it's a good lineup, this one, and if the players can stick to it, you know, it can work.
From midfield, St. Louis. Square ball there into the center circle for Chad Bond. Oh, precision ball from Chad to the outside, finds Mayer. Connor leaves Barklage to Dixon. Dixon settles just outside the 18. Chinarazzo thought about trying to challenge Ambersley. Almost from the spot where he had his assist. Chad tried the ball on the ground through the penalty area. Defender steps in front. Roughnecks now pushing forward just a bit. Back line trying to stay fluid. That's keeping their shape is something that the Roughnecks have worked a lot on in the last several weeks. Carpio taking off of the ball there. A chip inside the box. Feener comes off of his line to punch that one away in front of Ambersley. Still not out of the danger area yet. Musa. Musa one more time. Barklage leaves. Taken away there by Dav. Dav forward for Ochoa. Ochoa finds Henry. Good ball over the top from Henry, finds Villalobos. Ballou from the halfway line. Tries to play through Barklage, unable to do so. Here comes St. Louis. Boy, tackled there at midfield for Davern, and Davern's going to be issued a red card. Irla Davern will be sent off here in the 17th minute, and the Roughnecks will be with 10 men.
I'm absolutely speechless at the moment, Pop. I'll be careful with my words. I think the young referee has got himself a little bit excited there. That was not a great challenge from Ila Davrin. It was agricultural, I would say, but I do not feel that is a red card. I stand corrected if I look at the replay, which we'll get right now, my friend. Let's have a look at this. Well, possibly it's 1.5 yellow cards, having seen that again. That is a little bit over the top from Ila Davron. They won't be proud of that challenge, but I'm not sure it's a red card. But anyway, we'll have to pick ourselves up now, mountain to climb again. And, one thing I will say about David Irvin, interviewing him, he's so positive, Pop. I mean, he's got players that are falling down injured. He's got a small squad. But he is just saying, it's football, we've got to get on with it. And he'll be looking at how we organise 10 men. Here's Dav walking off now. I don't know what you think, Pop. Was that a red card? On another day, it wouldn't have been. Let's put it that way.
More importantly, I do want to say that Drew Connor got up because in somewhat of a kind of a scissor action, it looked like one of his knees kind of got bent back a little bit, and I don't know whether we'll have an opportunity to see the replay one more time. I was worried about that being, a bad injury, and I'm at least happy that he was able to get up and walk off. Now, unfortunate that Tulsa and Davron booked now with the red. That's it's a tough one at full speed like that if you're the referee. And
I think, to be fair to the referee, I think when you see a player go over the top of the ball and hit another player as hard as he did, I can understand the red card. I think on another day, I think a yellow card probably would have sufficed, but I can understand now, having seen it again, and the referee only gets one view of it. I can understand it being a red.
Here's the replay one more time from a different angle that we haven't seen. And Dav immediately knew as soon as he hopped up because he saw him hold his hand out. Here come the Roughnecks back in play. Here's Kaleem with the ball on his foot. Tries to cut to the inside, and a good bit of defending there from Richard Dixon, who takes Kaleem off of the ball. Kaleem could have given that up to Ochoa about 2 steps prior.
The difficulty, of course, obviously you're one man down, obvious thing to say, but you're up against a team, St. Louis, who will possess the football. And this is going to be very difficult for the Roughnecks. They've got to, be patient. They're going to play a kind of 4-1, 3-1, if you like. And Sammy Ochoa is going to have to do a lot up top on his own. And we're going to see a lot of possession from St. Louis now.
They will switch fields now to Fink. Bond there in support. Chad now turns, looking for one of those precision balls from over the top from Chad Bond. So good at sending those balls in at over 20 yards. Is Chad deadly accurate? I know I talked to Chad before the game. Great to see Chad back, by the way. Talked to him before the game. He was disappointed about having to miss the Kings Cup there at Louisville City. Here's the goal scorer, Herrera. Turning to the opposite side. Plays back to the center circle now. A bit of space. Fink finds Chad. Chad cuts inside. Good ball there. One of the defenders stepped in front. That was Abador. Herrera now in front of Watley to Dixon. Dixon harassed by Kaleem.
Talking of Kaleem, in amongst all this, Eric Burns says, nice haircut, Kaleem. What do you think of Kaleem's haircut, Pop?
We might have to zoom in on that, whether I can get a chance to.
I saw him arrive at the ground, actually, and it's pretty trendy, I would say.
Ooh, there's a bump as Kaleem hits the freshly laid sod that was put down on Wednesday. You saw the stat there. That was the second red card of the season. Here's a look at Kaleem. Maybe a little bit. Of course, you're talking about a 35-year-old, maybe a tad bit high. Of course, I don't have a good hairline the way that Kaleem has. There's a good ball played in for Ochoa. And more good defending there. That time it was Fink to stay in front of Sammy. In the 22nd minute, Roughnecks down to 10 men after the red card issued to Irla Davron.
We should say, Eric, thank you for that. And Eric tweeted into @Roughnecks Radio, all one word, @Roughnecks Radio. Ask us a question, tell us where you're listening from, and we'll try to give you a mention and answer your question.
Chinnerazzo, who was harassed from behind, could not complete that pass inside the 18, and here comes St. Louis. Connor to the outside, overlapping run here, cutting in, and they award him the ball. Played in there. towards the front post. Abador came sliding through directly in front of Herrera, and the referee has awarded a corner now as it goes over the byline.
Good tackle from David Abador, who's slotted in very well to his favourite position at centre-back. Possibly the last touch off Herrera we might see there, but the result is it is a corner. And Chad Bond, we know, is good from the corner arc, isn't he? You know, he's good. He can put it anywhere he wants to.
I asked Chad what happened because Chad was sent off in the 3-0 win over Swope Park. We'll get to that in a second. Good ball there from Chad. Maybe a bit too much off the boot, too heavy. Right area, plays back for Dixon. Good ball in. Watley tracks back on the header clearance. Villalobos, contact there, hits the deck, hops back up immediately. Dixon in the center circle. Now to Cochran, plays forward. Chad one more time, looking for Herrera, who was on the diagonal run. Another good ball in from Chad Bond, just Herrera could not get to it in enough time. I asked Chad what happened on the second yellow that was awarded. And Chad said, honestly, I just forgot that I had the first one and gave a little bump to try to stop the flow of play. It was 3-0, and I did not expect him to award the second yellow, and I got sent off.
And we'll come to another tweet about cards in a moment, Pop, that we've had a tweet in.
Here's Feener. Sends it forward for Ochoa. Diving header there from Ambersley. Plays back to Dixon. Here's Musa. Connor. Barklage is out there on the touchline as well. There's Chad. Middle third now, approaching the offensive third. Ambersley and a little touch back to Chad. So patient is St. Louis here. Dixon.
Well, I think it's what I said earlier. You know, when you're playing against 10, I think, you know, you have the chance to put it around. That's a rarity. That's a collector's item. Chad Bond giving the ball away.
Kaleem forward for Ochoa. Ochoa leaves back for Kaleem. Now the Roughnecks will be patient here. Abador in what Coach Irving talked about, kind of his more natural position, playing there in the middle of the back line. Nowhere to go, so Ballou back to his former teammate at Seattle U and Jake Feener. The boys took me to Seattle U when we were in Seattle. We actually went and ate lunch inside the stadium there. Beautiful setting, just right on the edge of downtown Seattle.
And did it rain a lot, my friend? I hear about Seattle, it rains a lot, a bit
for
like
15
England.
minutes one day.
Okay, you'll take that, won't you?
There's an awful joke in there somewhere. I almost said it was the tears of S2 after they lost because it only rained after the Roughnecks had won, but
yeah,
I'll leave that one be.
And what a record they've got there of the Roughnecks. Great,
nice ball there from Bond. Watley steps in front, however. Connor turns, looking for somewhere to go. Musa. He's for Barklage, back to Musa. Here's Chad. Ooh, Watley now does not get a very good clearance on it, and he'll have a go there from just outside the 18. Will Mayer, who comes up off the back line.
And a tweet coming in from, I think it's Mayoriah Johnston, and she says, and sometimes we take things for granted, Pop, because we've been playing the game and covering the game for so long. She said, why haven't the Roughnecks replaced the red-carded player? Well, the rules of soccer are that if the referee shows you a red card, Mayoriah, that is it. Your time is done, and you have to play with one man down. So a straight red card for Illadavran if people are just tuning in. Roughnecks down to 10, and they cannot replace that player. Also, as Pop was alluding to, if you get 2 yellow cards like Chad Bond did, that also equals a red card, and you cannot come back onto the field. Thank you for your tweets.
And you can find us at Roughnecks Radio on Twitter. 27th minute. St. Louis leading 1-0 here in Tulsa. Thank you to those of you watching in on YouTube. Remember, all USL matches are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. You can follow the action on the USL YouTube channel. Congratulations to the USL this week as well for announcing a new franchise in Nashville that will be making their debut. This league just continues to grow by leaps and bounds. Ochoa trying to hold up the ball there in front of Mayer.
And you welcomed in anybody watching and listening from St. Louis, and greetings from Johnny, who says, greetings from enemy territory in St. Louis. I am one of the many at St. Louligans watching online, I'm sure. Great fans you've got. Johnny, welcome aboard. And we hope tonight your team comes second, but at the moment you're coming first.
Well, both of us went up to Worldwide Technology Park, and both of us came away just marveling at, because we know the devastation that happened there due to the flooding. Here's Ochoa, nice ball into the inside, finds Carpio. Carpio running onto it, cuts to the inside. Carpio turns, fires at Pace, and a goal! That one slips in behind Pace, and are they going to credit Carpio with it? They will. And young Jason Ramos Carpio dances with Henry.
A fantastic response from the men in orange. It was a great run. We're going to see the replay any moment now. What a great run it was. And he's going to be credited with the goal, Carpio Pop. And a great response. We're back to 1-1.
Fantastic. The short-handed Roughnecks have leveled at 1. And here's the replay on the YouTube feed. Watch this cutback from Carpio. Sets up with the left foot right there. Oh, and sneaks in near post. Oh, Pace is going to have one of those nights as they head back home to St. Louis this evening, because that is a no-no to get beat on the near post. And the keeper upset with himself. Ochoa hammered it in just for good measure. But young Jason, the 20-year-old Guatemalan, scores for the first time in USL and all level at 1.
Well, I think David Irvin was saying that there are 1 or 2 players that he's got that he needs to see the best of, and young Carpio has done very well this season, but he will be really buoyed by that, because that is a wonderful run, a great cutback, did the defender well, and as you said, no keeper wants to be beaten on the near post. It went a little bit under pace, but it was a strong shot. Well done, Carpio. 1-1, and the Roughnecks will now want to steady the ship for the next 10, 15, 16, get to half time. It's 1-1, game on. And I noticed that Taylor Morgan, as the ball comes into the box and Chenaratsu will head it back to Fina, I'm noticing on the far side there, immediately the Roughnecks scored, Taylor Morgan, the Englishman, is getting ready over there. I don't know whether that's going to be a tactical change, Pop, or whether it's just to get everybody saying, David Irvin saying, watch out, you could be coming off if you don't put in the effort here, but the Roughnecks always do that. But a great response, 1-1.
Absolutely. And now we will see how St. Louis approaches after having given up the lead. Dixon to the near touchline. Plays back for Chad Bond near midfield. Pace so far on the year. That is goal number 9 that he has given up.
That was an important defensive header from Mark Watley, the Welshman there, recommended to the Roughnecks, I think, by Chad Bond, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. Chad Bond is the one that let the Roughnecks know about Watley.
And Chad Bond is coming across to take this corner, and I think someone from the Watley family, Laura, she's probably up there, bleary-eyed, coming up for 2 in the morning in Wales, watching the Roughnecks.
Here's Chad's ball towards the penalty area, coming in over the back. Whoa, dangerous there. Had a hack at it. Coming up off the back line, did Cochran. Is that Watley who was down? It was. Boy, he's got a bit of a limp now. I think he got kneed in the back. We'll see on the replay as it came in. Yes, that was Cochran just kind of climbing up the back there of Watley, reaching around him and having one stab at it.
But they breed them tough in the valleys of Wales, and Watley gets up and he will get on with it. Good to see the Welsh battle going on, Watley against Bond. And there's an Englishman, Musa.
Musa, yes.
Plymouth, England, yeah.
Abador misplayed that one, and now a foul here as the referee will stop play.
Yeah, James Musa's interesting career so far. He was playing for the New Zealand under-23, spotted by Fulham, who used to be in the Premiership, now in the Championship in England, and he was signed by Fulham, played a few games for them in England. Second spell, I believe, at St. Louis as well.
There's Watley that just tackles Herrera there directly in the center circle, and now Henry just trying to delay things just a bit so they can get back and get set. It's a nice veteran move there from Henry. And quickly to the opposite end they go. Just at the edge of the offensive third. Usa now turns, looks, faces up against Henry. Here's Connor. Connor in the middle of traffic, leaves for Bond. Bond now has a go. And that one slips by to the right of Feener.
Well, Chad Bond facing hands there. He thought he'd scored, and of course he would like nothing better than to the captain of St. Louis tonight. Here's the replay, and he's outside, way outside, and that almost grazed the frame there.
It did.
And we know what Chad Bond can do, obviously.
I do want to say congratulations, by the way, to Ryan Thompson, who's the other goalkeeper for St. Louis FC, as we have a player that is down. I believe that might be Villalobos.
Yeah, just
down in the center circle. He is grabbing the back of his calf, so that means that more than likely we might have a chance to see Kobe Smith out onto the field if Villalobos is unable to get up.
Poor old Kobe. No, just another player for him to deal with.
Just another player. Boy, we will go through this in a minute because you could label the Roughnecks the walking wounded. Real quickly, back to Ryan Thompson. Confirmed as part of the Jamaica's 23-man squad for Copa America on Friday, as the Reggae Boys announced their roster. And also congratulations to him because he became a father. 31-year-old became a father overnight. The arrival of Piper Wren Thompson as well. Around the same time he was named to the Jamaican squad. So congratulations to him.
Wonderful. Congratulations from all of us as well.
Here's Ballou, cuts to the outside against Barklage. Roughnecks now in the midfield. Barklage just hacking away at Brady. Good fight there from Villalobos as well that ends up winning a ball.
But David Irvin used the word challenge, to me before the game, and certainly this is a challenge. I mean, the Roughnecks are really putting themselves on the line here. Down to 10. They've crawled back into this, clawed it back to 1-1, and here they are on the attack again with a free kick from Watley.
Watley service flicked on there from Ochoa, turn. And they're going to say it came off of one of the defenders.
Yeah,
just got a piece of it there.
He almost didn't hit that as well as he could have done. I think it was
Kaleem.
Kaleem, thank you. Yeah, and it almost looped over the keeper's head. Could have been an embarrassing moment for pace, but it's a corner.
36th minute. Carpio, the goal scorer. Waiting for the referee's signal.
The normal pushing and shoving inside the box that you get in every game of soccer worldwide these days.
Carpio's ball. Looking for Henry. Watley. Ochoa will retrieve this one before it goes out. Kaleem there. Sammy now trying to cut towards the byline, and the referee will say this one will be a corner.
Crowd coming to life as well, Pop. They can see there's a response from the players here. Having gone down a goal and 10 men, they can really see something exciting here. And 9 minutes to go till half time, and they are excited. Good family atmosphere again here at One Oak.
That was Ambersley there that was tied up with Ochoa. Ambersley, of course, with the assist. There's another corner coming in, flicked on there, and in the back of the net. Are you kidding me? It's Sammy Ochoa. Sammy on the front post has scored one more time and make that 6 goals in the last 4 games for Sammy Ochoa. And on fire is number 9, this season for the Tulsa Roughnecks. Wow.
Well, Chad Bond's bringing the St. Louis players in together for a bit of a conference here. But I can tell you, credit Sammy Ochoa, as you quite rightly said there, Pop, but credit Carpio with the corner. What a corner. Right into that near post. And there was Sammy Ochoa. Clearly he knew what Carpio was going to do because he was there a yard ahead of the defender. That is the sign of a great striker. Here's the replay. You watch Sammy Ochoa's run here. There he goes in there. Header and pace. Couldn't do anything with that one. There was a player on the line. Sammy Ochoa, as you say, 6 goals, last 4 games. The Roughnecks are leading 2-1.
With 10 men, Tulsa has battled back and has taken the lead.
That was a late challenge on Ballou, but the referee says play on. Now, can they hold, well, not hold on, but can they just competently keep this lead? There's Sammy Ochoa going down. Can they keep this lead? You know, Pop, I don't want to put you on the spot with statistics, but we have been in the lead before and lost games this season, but it hasn't happened too often, and it certainly hasn't happened too often here. I think once this season we've won a game 2-0. Is that correct?
I'm looking for some wood to knock on somewhere here inside the booth. But yes, this has been this was a problem last season for Tulsa as well, of being able to hold on to leads. We just saw it last weekend in conceding goals within a certain amount of time. I mean, it was 90 seconds after the Roughnecks had leveled up at Swope Park when Pasher scored one more time. And the Roughnecks, confidence-wise, with how beat up this team is, really need to be able to take this lead into the locker room at half.
And Brady Ballou taking time out of the game. He's right by the buzz hoarding there.
Yes,
Pop.
he is.
1300 the buzz that we're broadcasting on tonight.
That's
and
good camera work there, my friend. The throw inside the box, looking for Sammy.
I was quite pleased with my eyesight as well.
There's Villalobos. Poor touch there from Villalobos. Ball searching ball down the far touchline. Herrera could not get there in enough time. Quickly, Brady wants to go, and the referee will push Brady back about 10 yards or so. Use a NASCAR term here. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Brady was just trying to get a little bit of an advantage. I've been to Gateway Speedway and watched the Busch race there in St. Louis, so folks back home.
You are a man of many talents and
a
great knowledge of sport, my friend.
That was the Wallace family race.
Did you watch the Cup final today?
I did watch bits and pieces of it.
Good game.
I do have it full on DVR. Ball played across the back line inside the 18.
Followed up by a very close New York derby in the MLS.
Absolutely.
Are you the red or the blue side? I guess if you're the blue side, you're not going to admit it anyway live on air, are you?
I will not.
7-0. Well done to the red side of New York in the MLS.
Ball down the line for Dixon, who broke free. Kaleem giving chase. Oh, Watley had to get up in that one in front of Herrera. Herrera was grabbing the back of his head, still loose there inside the box. Chinarazzo with the clearance, not as much on it. Comes out for Connor to Musa. Musa now, Barklage. Ooh, slick move there from Barklage to Connor. Has Amber's lead. Dixon was calling for it. Chinarazzo comes over to challenge. Still not completely clear. Musa to the outside. Cuts back towards the byline. That ball went over the line, and the referee's assistant was there. It was a nice try there from Parker Mayer. Could not save it in enough time, and the Roughnecks now in the 42nd minute will have a goal kick coming up for Jake Feener.
Brady Ballou, great player that he is. We know that. He's it's a bit of a struggle for him at right back. I mean, he would prefer to be pushing on, but he did well there, and he ushered the guy out, and it's a goal kick. So well done to him. And you've got to credit these Roughnecks players. They are battling for their lives. They really are. And this is a tremendous response to come from 1 down to be 2 up. And we've got 3 minutes, and we do not want to concede before half-time.
Davern was sent off in the 17th minute. Barklage on the square ball. No immediate danger there as it trickles to the opposite side of the post. Barklage maybe a bit ambitious there and really didn't connect on it that well. Admiral Sportswear is the official sportswear provider of the Tulsa Roughnecks FC. In addition to the official team kits, you could also look for other Admiral products at One Oak Field. Jake Feiner in his first start at home this season.
David Sharp, thank you for your tweets. Good match so far, and he said earlier on, great job on the call so far. Tough start for the Roughnecks, down to 10, but fighting back, and they have fought back, and they fought back with a couple of goals, and they need to get through to halftime. David, keep the tweets coming. Thank you. He tweeted into @Roughnecks Radio, all one word. Let us know where you are listening or watching this broadcast from. We would love to hear from you.
There's a giveaway by St. Louis. Nike is a proud partner of the USL. You can follow @Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike soccer information. Generazzo was heartbroken after that loss to Swope Park, after battling that entire time. And it is one thing that David Irving has talked about and said that, you know, throughout the matches so far in the 6 losses that we've seen, there hasn't been really anyone. And I was talking with Gary about this in the hotel lobby after the Swope Park loss, and he said, Pop, here's what's frustrating is that we haven't really been carved up. There hasn't been anyone that has carved us up through the back line and haven't really put together 6-7 passes in a row and beat us. It's all been mistakes, correctable mistakes that we know that we can fix, but they just seem to keep happening time and time again.
Yeah, it's you know, it's still early on the season. You know, we said before, sometimes you hear, you know, it's a must-win game. It'd be great if we did win. You know, if we could win tonight and put ourselves up to, 10 points, that would be great. But, you know, it's early on the season, and David's had to contend with a lot of injuries and a lot of, you know, our players on form. So, you know, should they be in the starting 11? But I say again, he is a man that nothing will ruffle his feathers at all. He will just keep going on with the job. If he can bring in other players to do it, he will. Here comes St. Louis, but the 10 men are doing really well here.
Oh, cuts by Ballou, gets towards the byline, sends it towards the back post. Fortunate there are the Roughnecks as Dixon, the ball was in over the top of his head. Leads for Herrera. Herrera to the left, now turns back. Good footwork there, but harassed by Henry. Good tackle off the ball from Henry, and Kaleem just plays this one out of bounds. Good challenge there and defensive help from Henry. Head to your local Green Country Chevy dealer and take home the new face of Strong, the 2016 Silverado 1500, and 3 minutes of stoppage time have been added.
Roughnecks really defending deep now, just trying to see out this 3 minutes. Ball over the top.
Gary there. Oh, Kaleem played directly back to Chad Bond. Just a simple ball forward from Bond. Herrera's foot stuck in the turf there, and a piece of the sod actually came up as he goes to fix that and put that back down.
He will blame that, of course, on the sod, but it was good defending as well, and he just tricked himself, I think, there a little bit. But Roughnecks hanging in here, got some more defending to do here, though.
Bond swings it to Dixon. Dixon's ball. Watley, the first defender to it. Ambersley to Mayer. Ambersley cuts inside the 18. All still on his foot. Oh, incredible turn from Ambersley. Plays back into the area. Oh, and Abador potentially saved the day.
Brilliant piece of skill from Ambersley. Really good.
A good turn and a good cut. And
is the referee going to stop this, or is he?
Referee did not stop it as
no.
Chad Bond went down. Dixon's ball still in St. Louis's possession. And Sammy Ochoa comes back to take that one away from Brandon Barklage. And now one of the Roughnecks players down in Kaleem.
Yeah, Kaleem's in a bit of trouble there. It was one of those, it wasn't malicious or anything, and I think him and Chad Bond just collided legs there, and I think Villalobos is just saying to the referee, couldn't you have stopped that, because we had a player down from each team. It's very, very difficult these days, of course, to know when to stop it and so on, but Kaleem's in a little bit of trouble here.
Oh, Abador, as you see there on the replay, was right there. Musa probably could have put a little bit more on that. I think he was just trying to be safe, though, there, and played into the side of the net. Abidor in the right place at the right time, so David Abidor comes up big for the Roughnecks here in stoppage time. Got to know David quite a bit after some of the road trips that we have been on. Extremely nice is David Abidor. Happy for him and the success that he's had. And I do want to brag on Abidor for a minute, because David Abidor, even though he's getting started, here's this clip right there. Some of the turf did come up and contact there, and you saw Kaleem as Dixon now on the near touch. And Villalobos plays this one over the touchline. Abidor, when he's played on the outside, has had his hands full, because Pasher at Swope Park has a ton of pace, as does Anderson from S2. In our pregame show, we talked about Anderson, as this will end the first half with the Roughnecks leading 2-1. We talked about Anderson maybe having the best speed in all of USL with the ball in his possession, and we saw him in a World Cup qualifier match blow past DeAndre Yedlin in international competition. So that tells you what type of pace that he has, and Abidor has had his fair share of speedy individuals to line up with. And there's young Carpio, first career USL goal, and it comes in the 29th minute. And not only that, Carpio gets credit for the assist as well on the corner on the goal from Sammy Ochoa. And here's the look at Carpio's goal on the YouTube feed. Cuts back to the inside with the left foot. Pace was there, but it just slipped in underneath. And that was the very first goal from Jason Ramos Carpio. 2-1 the lead for the Tulsa Roughnecks as we head to halftime. Jeremy Poplin, Dave Saunders with you live from One Oak Field. Tonight's broadcast originating from the Bank of Oklahoma booth at One Oak Field. Bank of Oklahoma is proud to support the Tulsa Roughnecks in their second year of bringing professional soccer back to the city of Tulsa. Look at the beautiful sunshine off of the buildings here in downtown Tulsa. We'll take a timeout and come back after this on Tulsa Roughnecks Soccer.
Become a fan of the USL on Facebook and follow on Twitter for league news, interactive content, and have a chance to win exclusive giveaways. And remember that all USL regular season and playoff games are available live, free, and in high definition on YouTube. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today. Visit the new USLsoccer.com. Get the latest news and live stats, and check out the new social media hub. Time now for the Bank of Oklahoma Kick for Cash. JJ, who are tonight's contestants?
All right, Kirk, I am down here, and I've got Armando over here. And I've got Josh over here. They're going to play a little BOK Kick for Cash. All right, guys, on your mark, get set, go. They've got 30 seconds and 5 shots. Let's see who can get the most in. We got one over here for Josh. We got one over here for Armando. We got 2-2. We're coming down to it. Who's it gonna be? We got 3 for Armando. We're on our last one. And we got 3 for Josh and 4 for Armando. All right, it looks like Armando is our winner. I've got $50 of cold hard cash for you, but that's not all, Armando. All right, now here's the tough question. We're gonna get another ball out here, and we've got our big goal that you've been shooting on, but we've got that little one right there. You can go for $100 into the big goal or $200 into the small goal. What do you want to do? All right, we're gonna go for the little goal. He's going for the big money. I like it. All right, let's get that goal in place. All right, Armando, whenever you're ready, Roughnecks Nation, cheer him on. Let's hear him get that money. It's going. Oh, and it curved off a little. Oh, it's all right. I still got $50 of cash for you, courtesy of BOK. Give it up for Armando, guys.
Is a proud partner of the USL. Follow @Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike soccer information. Fans, it's time for the El Guapo's Cantina Dizzy Punt. Here's JJ to introduce our contestants.
That's right, Kirk. We're right back down here for some more fun. This is the El Guapo's Dizzy Punt. We got Zach here. He's going to take 10 spins and then try to kick this soccer ball as far as he can. And then we got Justin's going to come out here and do the same thing and see who can kick it the farthest. All right, Zach, let's get those spins going. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, you can do better than that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. All right, pick that thing up. Let's see what you got. Ooh, nice kick. All right, Justin, you got some stiff competition here. Let's see what you got. All right, let's get those spins going. Whenever you're ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, pick that thing up. Let's see what you got. Oh, shanked a little right. I'm going to have to say Zach's got this. So congratulations, Zach. You're going home with a gift card courtesy of McNally's.
Fans, please direct your attention to the video board for tonight's birthday announcements. Happy 9th birthday to Jalen Hammond. And happy 7th birthday to Jackson Lee Hendricks. Thanks for celebrating with us here at One Oak Field. And now, once again, here's JJ with details about the rest of this evening and the Roughnecks' next home match.
That's right, Kirk. All right, so this game still has another half. We are a man down, and we're still winning. We're looking good. I'm liking our chances to get the win today. Now, we got a lot still going on. After the game, be sure to stick around. We have a lot going on. The team will be coming around doing autographs. Make sure to come down with all of your different merchandise and different gear to get some autographs from the team. And then we are going to be doing bubble soccer. This is the first time this year we are doing bubble soccer. We're going to do 3-on-3 compliments of Sports U. Now, they've got a table up by the team store. Go over to that table, sign up to play bubble soccer tonight. It is going to be so much fun. And then after bubble soccer, we've got fireworks. And if you have never seen a fireworks show out here, you are in for a treat. It is a great time. Now, the Roughnecks go away for a little while and won't be back for a couple of weeks, but we do have the Drillers coming into town starting on Tuesday, all the way through the following Monday, the 24th through the 29th. Make sure to come out to a Drillers game or two. We've got back-to-back-to-back fireworks Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Make sure to come out for that. It is going to be a great 3 days of fireworks and an awesome homestand. And then the Roughnecks come back June 4th for a fireworks show, and then we have the Christian Mata bobbleheads on June 17th. We have these awesome things right here. Janelle is doing her best bobblehead impression. Looking good. We are going to be passing those out to the first 1,500 fans through the Arvest and Oil Derrick gates on June 17th. So make sure to get out here early for that. You do not want to miss out on one of those bobbleheads. And then don't forget, guys, after the game tonight, after the fireworks and everything, we are having our post-match party at McNelly's. So make sure to get out there. We are doing 350 Founders all-day IPA drinks. So make sure to get out there, get a couple drinks, hang out with the team, and have a great night. All right, Roughnecks Nation, it's almost time for that second half. I want to hear you get loud, get rowdy, and cheer on our guys to a victory.
The Roughnecks thank Two Works for You and 106.9 K-Hits for sponsoring tonight's match. The Tulsa Roughnecks are proud to have these fine sponsors helping us put on tonight's match and the fireworks show. Thanks again to Two Works for You and 106.9 K-Hits. Roughnecks fans, get on your feet and get loud. It's time for the Mark Miller Buick GMC T-shirt toss.
Come on, Roughnecks Nation, I got some T-shirts. Who wants a T-shirt? Who wants one? I want to hear you get up. You got to earn it. All right, I'd like some over here. We got some energy going on. Who wants one over here? Yeah, I like it. I like it. All right, where are we going? Who wants one? Come on, I want to hear it. You got to earn it. I like it over here. All right. I got a couple more. I got a couple more. I want to hear it. We going over here? You guys want to hear? All right, I still got a few more. Still got a few more. Like that over there. All right, last two. These are going flying. That T-shirt toss is brought to you by Mark Miller Buick GMC. Make sure to go see them for all your new and used car needs.
Now direct your attention to the video board for upcoming promotions here at One Oak Field. And the Roughnecks welcome tonight's high five crew. The U9 Orange Dragons are down on the field and they're giving high fives to the Roughnecks players as they take the field for the second half.
Grimes into the center back spot for Tulsa. One of the two combinations. Yes, that is Mason. So that is a switch that was made at half. So Brady Blue is off.
And I think that's a good switch. We know that they're going to have to soak up a bit of pressure. Abidor's done well at the back, and here comes the Lewis straight away.
Dixon's ball skims off the top of the head there. As Chinarazzo fell down, that gave Barklage a look.
So basically then, what we've got then, Abidor at left back, and then the centre backs are Grimes and Watley, who have played together this season on this very field. Gary Chinarazzo will be, I'm sure, very excited and relieved to be back in his favourite right back spot. And then you've still got Henry as the kind of deep midfielder, and then in front of him you've still got Villa, Lobas and Carpio and Kaleem and Sami Ochoa up front. Sami Ochoa fouled there by good friend Chad Bond.
A free kick now coming up for Tulsa. Leading 2-1 here, just underway in the second half.
Wouldn't it be great if the Roughnecks could stick one in here early on and have a 2-goal cushion? 2-1, as we know, a very close score. But if the Roughnecks could get something here, great for the home fans.
Carpio coming off of his first goal in his career. Two-man wall. Played in. And Pace has it.
That's one of those balls that comes in and you just want any kind of a flick from a defender or an attacker, and the keeper's done for. But it bounced once and into Pace's hands.
Mayer leaves back for Barklage. Back to Cochran. Cochran through the center circle to Fink. Fink now dribbles all to the outside for Dixon. In the offensive third, Dixon's cross is knocked down by David Abidor, and a corner now coming up for St. Louis. We did not get to finish our thought earlier, but Worldwide Technology Soccer Park, we were there earlier this season, and the horrific flooding that happened, to see the way that they were able to rebound and to have that community come together the way they did to raise money to get this side back up and active. And it's not just the USL side, it's the entire club that's there. It was a privilege to be able to go there and to be a part of that at the very first game of the season for St. Louis, and we came away very impressed, not only with the fans but with the park.
I echo those comments, and of course we go back up there, what is it, June 11th or 10th?
June 11th.
Yeah. And that river, as we said, is very, very close to the stadium, so well done to all of you connected with St. Louis to put it all back together. Fantastic.
Cochran searching ball forward. Abidor beats him to the punch. Usa to Dixon. Dixon harassed there from Kaleem.
Interesting change for me that Barklage, who started really as up front as one of the front two, is kind of playing more out wide on the left, and they're trying to double up with Mayer here with the number 6 with the ball. So, obviously they've got a man advantage. And that looks to be where they're trying to do it.
Connor to Barklage. Barklage, his shot is knocked down. Nike's a proud partner of the USL. Follow @Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information.
Yeah, Carpio caught in possession there. His coach won't be too pleased with that. That's deep in his own territory. Tried to do a little turn, and he won't want to do that again. And that was a chance for St. Louis.
Yeah, Feener barked at him from the opposite end. See on the replay here.
Yeah, you don't want your midfielders doing that kind of stuff there. Do it up in near the other guy's box, but not there.
Well, and it was a giveaway by Carpio late in that Swope Park game last week that resulted in the go-ahead goal in the 80th minute.
I think it's a good change from David Irvin, as we said, and I'm just looking down at whether Taylor Morgan might come in, to freshen legs up front. We know he can do that up front on his own, the big tall Englishman, and but then you don't want to take Sami Ochoa off, so Sami will run himself into the ground. We'll see what happens. Might not be the traditional sort of 62-minute change that David Irvin's used to, because of course his side are doing so well, 2-1 up, 50 minutes gone.
Abador, the nice ball there to Henry inside the center circle. Floats one over the top of Barklage to Chinarazzo. Chinarazzo will leave for Watley. Watley one touch towards the halfway line. It's a ball across. Kaleem cannot handle it initially, but Villalobos back to David Abador. To Henry. Sammy will try to track this one down. Dixon just plays it out over the touchline in front of Sammy Ochoa.
And it's the Roughnecks' turn, Pop, to slow everything down and break the game up now. They'll be happy to do as much as that as they can. So often we're used to teams coming here and getting ahead and then doing the same to the Roughnecks. So they'll just want to take the sting out of this whenever they can.
Abador's throw to Sammy. Usa goes up. Dixon hammers this one out of the box. Henry retreats. Trying to link up with Sammy, unable to do so. And falling down there is Ambersley. Puts this one back in play in a hurry.
Roughnecks very much a 4-1-3-1. Down to 10.
There's Fink dribbling forward.
David Abador there just trying to get the ball up to Sammy Ochoa, but it came off his left foot, sliced out, and St. Louis have the possession again. Don't forget to tweet us here on @Roughnecks Radio. We'd love to hear from you. Are you feeling a little bit nervous here?
To the back post, a touch, and there's a goal. And that's one more time Herrera, as he was camped out there in the middle of the box and beats Jake Feener, and we are level at 2 here in the 53rd minute.
Well, I said, were you feeling nervous just before that went in? That was the perfect ball that came back. We'll get the replay any second now, but it was the perfect ball back. I think it was from Ambersley, and there was Herrera. Here's the replay, but you know, this is one of those cutbacks. There's the first ball that comes into the back post from Mayer, as you said. There is the ball in from Ambersley, and that's a good finish from just inside the 6-yard box. His second of the night from Irvin Herrera. 2-2.
And the Roughnecks concede inside the first 10 minutes of the second half one more time.
Referee saying that the ball was played there. Certainly some tackles flying in the midfield now as these two teams battle it out.
That's been two great setups from Ambersley so far on the night. Both times to Herrera. Do want to credit Mayer, though, with that initial ball.
You're right, Poppy. Switched the play from left to right, didn't he? And just a word on Herrera. If my memory serves me correct, in the 0-0 draw at Fenton. And by the way, Johnny says, thank you for your kind words. It truly was a special night in Fenton on our opening night this year. You know, 0-0. And Herrera, I remember, had a shot which Mangles saved pretty early on. And then he didn't really have anything else on that night.
Chad's corner. Oh, the header towards the post. Luckily, the Roughnecks were hugged up.
I think it was Fink with the header there, wasn't it?
Cochran.
May have been Cochran, actually.
Played
Cochran, though, yeah.
720 minutes coming into tonight for St. Louis. Ambersley with 2 assists. Musa there to Connor. Connor pulls back.
That's offside.
It is off.
Noticeable to me, Pop, that Fink, the number 3 there, stayed up from the corner, you know, because they've got this man advantage. They can do things like that. So we're going to have a substitution from the Roughnecks on the far side there.
This will be Kyle McLeod, who was signed just before the Roughnecks made their trip, as Kaleem is holding his left ankle. Kyle McLeod was signed the Monday before the Roughnecks went to Vancouver, was inserted into the starting 11 that Wednesday, and then also played that next Sunday night in Seattle. And McLeod and Villalobos have been a welcome sight to the Roughnecks because they have been so banged up as far as injuries are concerned. And this will be Kaleem, so we will get to see Kyle McLeod coming on for Tulsa. So far, McLeod on the season, this will be his 4th appearance. He's played 215 minutes so far, has had 2 shots. Played his college soccer at San Diego. Had actually trained with the Roughnecks back in November. David Irving had wanted to sign him at that time, but Kyle had aspirations of going and playing overseas. Things didn't quite work out there for him. Watley cuts down that ball just in front of Herrera. Here's McLeod with his first touch. And they will say this one is over the line, and a throw-in now directly in front of the bench. Dixon with the quick throw.
Quite understandably, it's gone a little bit quiet inside One Oak, but you know, the Roughnecks are still battling away. They're still very much in this game at 2-2. You know, can they get a little period of possession? They don't want it all to be dominant possession from St. Louis here if they're going to get something out of this. Long way to go, of course.
Ball there from Mayer to Herrera, who has the brace. Barklage. Villalobos finally came over to close down on Barklage. Nice diagonal ball there, Herrera. It's free. A shot put on, and that came off of one of the defenders. And the referee's assistant flag is up. So the AR's flag was up. That was a dangerous spot for the Roughnecks defense.
It certainly was. I mean, they were literally throwing their bodies at the ball. We're going to see, you know, the replay here. But there's, I'm assuming that was the offside there. It looked pretty close to me. But here's the great block. And the Roughnecks survived, but thankfully the flag had already gone up. It was a close call, Pop.
It was extremely close. And that could have been goal number 3.
2-2 it remains. What a game we're seeing here tonight at One Oak.
59th minute. Dixon. Back over the midfield line for Fink. Square ball from Fink. Finds Cochran. Barklage. From the byline, the left-footed cross there from Brandon. Back to Mayer, who touches past the Roughnecks defense. A touch inside the box from Chad.
Great little turn for the Welshman there, wasn't it, in a tight space? And Fina was alert to the danger. There was a good block in there as well, but Chad Bond, of course, from the central midfield with 11 versus 10, can make those kind of dangerous runs into that 6-yard box. But the Roughnecks survived that one again. Long ball here from Fina.
Looking for Ochoa. Headed back to Pace. And Pace on the quick outlet. Square to Musa. And St. Louis will try the opposite side. Cloud steps in. Still possession, though, for St. Louis. Switch fields. Here's got some space. Left-footed towards the back post. Abador gets a header. Finally cleared out of the 18. But Cochran steps in front of Ochoa. And there's a pretty significant gap between where Sammy's at and the rest of the midfield who have set back, trying to protect the 18 and protect the goal. There's a shot directly at Feener that comes from Barklage from outside at 30 yards out. Feener handles it.
And that was a point I was going to make, actually, Pop, that you're absolutely right, that when the ball comes out from the midfield or the defence, it's up to Sammy to hold it up. But if it's not going to go to his feet, there's no way that he can hold it up. And that's going to be a really important feature, you know, of this game. Can the ball be put up to Sammy Ochoa's feet? Can he hold it up so that the other midfield three can get in as Henry sits back, you know? So that's going to be a feature of the game, because there's a lot of possession here for St. Louis as they've got the extra man advantage. But that's James Musa with a shot that's well wide of the target, and Feener can just slow things down again.
Case and Associates is home for the Roughnecks players when they're not on the pitch. And you can look to Case for your apartment needs. You can find Case and Associates online at caseusa.com. And a sub now coming up for St. Louis, and we will see Jamil Hardware make his way on for Connor. So Connor exits. And we have our first sub from St. Louis here in the 62nd minute.
Well, we keep saying it, but this is a big 28 minutes in the Roughnecks season. Can they get something out of this game?
Hardware, 372 minutes on the season, has 1 goal. Here he is on the ball.
There's an injury there. Gary Chenarat's having to put the ball out, just seeing who it is down there, and I'm guessing it's Carpio down there. I think he got a whack to the right knee.
It is Carpio.
And come on, let's have a shout out for this man running onto the field now. Pop, you know him, you've been on the road with him. Kobe, I mean, he's really got his hands full at the moment, but what a great guy he is.
He does have his hands full, I will give him that. Carlos Martinez has a broken toe. Ray Lee has had a knee injury. As a matter of fact, Ray Lee suffered his knee injury, as we'll see a replay in the game against St. Louis.
And then you've got Christian Madder, who's got a foot injury, isn't he? Ankle injury.
I think Carpio banged his knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christian Mata has not, as David Irving says, hasn't kicked the ball for us all year. This also gives us an opportunity to remind everyone that you can become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive news and interactive content. They do a tremendous job on Instagram. You can check out at USL Soccer on Instagram to see match highlights, action shots from games around the USL. They're on Twitter. Follow them at USL on Twitter to keep up with all the live action during the 2016 USL season. USL does tremendous work on social media, and there's another look at it. Yes. Carpio is up. Walking with a bit of a limp there. Looks like he's going to be okay. Have to come off for a few brief moments. We mentioned that the Roughnecks had found Carpio, Guatemalan, while at a combine in Florida, and that's really kind of where he burst onto the scene. And it was, what, 3 or 4 games played in a week stretch there for the Roughnecks against some NASL competition, and really had a great camp there in Florida. St. Louis now will give the ball back to the Roughnecks. If you're looking for a great doctor, you can look to Hillcrest. Hillcrest is the medical provider for your Tulsa Roughnecks. To make an appointment with one of Hillcrest's excellent primary or specialty care providers, you can call 918-579-DOCS. That's 918-579-DOCS. Foul at midfield as Henry gets up.
And Carpio's back on. Seems to be running away okay there, and a foul right on halfway. Henry was pushed in the back. And Watley can drive this one towards the 18-yard line. I think Henry was going to come off there, but I think it is Carpio actually who's going to come off, Pop.
Yes, it is, and this will be Belubi.
Belubi, yeah. Which will be no bad thing. I mean, Belubi's, you know, relatively defensive, isn't he? So he'll go in there alongside Henry, and that'll be a very solid sort of back six. That we have 7 if you count the goalkeeper. So it'll be up to the guys in front to get an effort on Pace's goal in the second half, but few and far between in the second half. Understandably, Roughnecks have got 25 minutes of the 90 to go. They are locked at 2-2.
You can keep up to date with the USL all season long by visiting the new USLsoccer.com for everything that you need to know about the USL and its 29 teams. You can also read about team number 30 that was introduced. Actually, team number 31 if you're going to count Reno in Nashville, and you can read that at USLsoccer.com. Have another addition to the Eastern Conference, at least for now.
And I think, talking of Eastern Conference, didn't Cincinnati beat their own record again for the biggest crowd, did I see?
Cincinnati has been on fire as far as crowds are concerned. Nippert Stadium is over the byline now in a goal kick coming up. I actually visited Nippert Stadium back during the football season with the University of Tulsa. And boy, you want to talk about just a beautiful place. And to fill that up with as many fans as they have been.
Excuse my ignorance, is it a grass or turf field?
No, it is a turf field.
Turf field, right.
There's Watley. He's played every minute so far this season for the Roughnecks. $100+ million renovation there for Nippert. It's a unique setting there in the city. It sets down inside the ground. It's quite lovely.
And that their game at the Charlotte Independence has been postponed, hasn't it, due to bad weather, I think, in Charlotte.
Cincinnati just announced that they're going to have a friendly with Crystal Palace coming up in July.
The losers of the FA Cup today, but another English team coming over to this wonderful country, and they certainly come over in their droves, don't they, for the pre-season in the summer months.
You have to take me to a game there. Always wanted to go.
We'll do that sometime, my friend.
Corner kick coming up now for St. Louis. 68th minute. All even at 2. A brace from Herrera. Also a goal from Carpio and one from Ochoa for the Tulsa side. Here's Chad Bond. Skims through the 18. Back to Musa. Cuts towards the byline. Left-footed cross. Watley clears this one out of play. A quick throw in now for St. Louis FC. Hardware. Diagonal brawl to the opposite side of the field. Overlapping run there from Dixon. Runs onto it. Oh, good defending there between McLeod and also Abador. There's Sammy, who links back up a little bit. Holds it up just in enough time.
There you go. That's what we need.
Plays it to Villalobos. First bit of possession up past midfield. There's Villalobos. Ball to Sammy. Sammy now has that one knocked away from him. And Mayer actually saves it before it goes over the touchline.
Offside.
Referee hasn't seen it yet.
He still hasn't seen it.
And finally notices.
Yeah. A few seconds back. Of course, talking of, you know, we talked about pre-season, but we've got the European Championship. We've got David Irvin here having a word with the referee. And the referee is saying no more. David Irvin, I'm not sure what he was upset about there, Pop. But, of course, the European Championships, England drew Wales. So, of course, Mr. Watley and myself, and I'm sure Chad will get involved. We can have some good banter there. They'll be playing each other throughout the month of June and the early part of July. Looking forward to that.
Free kick now from inside of the center circle. Watley in the 18 in the air. Grimes had pushed forward. Tough challenge there from Mason as it deflects off of him.
Interesting that David Irvin and Tommy Taylor are out of their seats. You know, they spend a lot of the time, don't they, sat down, you know, but now they know how important this last 20 minutes is. 2-2 the score.
Touch there from Cochran. Back to Pace. Back on the original play side. Musa sends forward. How a foul.
David Abador adjudged to have fouled there. One of our favourite players, just from his ability to play anywhere. This is a chance.
Drops back in the goal. Slotted into the opposite side, and look who it is one more time. It's Herrera. And if he was in St. Louis, you might see some hats.
Again, the perfect ball, pulled back, and Herrera, 12, 13 yards out. He takes home the match ball. Heads go down from the Roughnecks' perspective. They've got to come from behind now. They've got to come out a little bit more now to get back to, on level terms now. And you wonder now whether Taylor Morgan, who's warming up over there, might be the best card to play here and put him up top with Sammy Ochoa.
How about that ball from Hardware?
Yeah.
Hardware stops it right on the byline, cuts it back inside, plays it directly where you're supposed to, right at the penalty area. And Herrera was just camped out inside.
Herrera, I don't know how many hat-tricks he's scored in his career, but this one tonight, all three have been quality goals, but
the
quality
service.
assists. Yes.
Oh, yes.
I mean, goal scoring is difficult enough. And, Sammy's going to have an outrageous go there. Sort of pace off his line. It's good thinking from Sammy Ochoa. But, Herrera, credit him. He's scored a hat-trick, but the assists have been outstanding. Well played. So, can the Roughnecks do it again, Pop,
Well, this is familiar territory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having to play from behind.
Still hope, 18 minutes to go, but you just feel Sammy might need a little bit more help up there now. What we do know is these boys will not give up.
Malubi finds McLeod to Ochoa. There's Henry. Little flick there from McLeod. Finds Sammy. Sammy holds the ball up. McLeod inside the 18 turns. Nice drop there for Sammy towards the byline. Plays it back. Here's Chinarazzo. Gary with a shot. Oh, Pace got a touch on it. Just enough to send it over the top of the crossbar.
Well, Gary Chinarazzo doesn't score that many goals, but he came up and he struck that one superbly. Great build-up from Sammy Ochoa. Brilliant save from the Tulsa University graduate Pace.
Well, Chinarazzo was upset with himself there, but, boy, you got to give Pace a lot of credit.
That was a fine, fine save.
Here's the corner. Swinging on the inside, Cochran. Back to Henry.
I'm telling you, Pop, St. Louis haven't won this game yet. The Roughnecks are going to throw everything. The kitchen sink, everything. But that was a fine save for Pace because, again, we know the life of a goalkeeper. The lads had nothing to do in this half whatsoever. That is the Roughnecks' first chance. So for, the best part of half an hour, he's been having nothing to do. But when he had to make a save, he made a save. Great strike from Gary Chinarazzo as well.
Here's another look at it on the YouTube feed. That was a great ball from Sammy. Gary had time to set himself up. Came off the boot with some pace. Abador's header, corner of the 18, knocked over the touchline to the far side. Roughnecks have won a throw-in. Abador's throw, nice ball there from Sammy onto a running Kyle McLeod. Has it, touches by the defender, cuts back. Trying to find Sammy there. Villalobos had a chance at it inside the arc. Sammy just uses the shoulder to try to lay into Chad Bond there. And Musa forward for Hardware. Hardware goes head up, cuts to the inside. Ooh, that curving shot. A little bit too much over the bar. But a quick transition there from St. Louis.
Yeah, certainly was, and that's what the Roughnecks will are going to have to put up with, I'm afraid, because if you've got to come out last 15 minutes now, they're going to have to, you know, chance their luck a bit. And Hardware there had plenty of space, came in on the right foot, struck a shot just over. Sammy Ochoa has been adjudged to have fouled the lad there, and that'll be a yellow card for Sammy. Not quite sure what happened.
That's the third yellow on the season now for Sammy Ochoa. And Sammy's upset. Sammy's got to be careful.
He has got to be careful because Descent, you know, he gets a second yellow, and the Roughnecks will be down to 9. Captain as well. Here is the incident. All he's done is push the lad in the back. I think that's harsh to get a yellow for that. But it's one of those silly fouls you can do without when your team is 3-2 down, 14 minutes to go.
Feener plays this one out to allow his defense a chance to reset. 77th minute. Tulsa trailing 3-2. Trying to find a way to level things up here. There's a nice win from Belubi at midfield. Touch from Villalobos to Henry. Henry's ball, poor angle. Play to the inside. Back to Belubi. Villalobos now. Dribbling to his right. Will leave for Belubi. David Abador. Grimes has a little pressure on him. Abador had made a run there. Down the line, we'll have another sub coming up here in just a few moments. I believe this is going to be Morgan.
Yeah, Taylor Morgan and Gary Generazzi is going to be sacrificed. He's done nothing wrong tonight, Generazzi, but I think what he's going to do, Pop, is he's going to go with the 3 at the back, which of course will be Abador, Grimes and Watley. They'll go 3 at the back, and Taylor Morgan will go up front with Sammy Ochoa, almost in a 3-3-3. Taylor Morgan was sent off, wasn't he, in Des Moines in the week?
Morgan was sent off.
Here he is, though, battling away. Does he get a ban for that?
He would have had to miss the next Open Cup game.
Right.
Also, Ambersley subbed out for Bouchou. And there's a goal to the opposite end. And make that goal number 4 on the night from Herrera on the quick break. And the wheels have fallen off here in Tulsa.
It was a wonderful through ball, and again, we talk about assists. You know, Herrera's had a great night with his teammates, and that was just a wonderful through ball, and he didn't really have to do a lot. Feener came out, and, you know, he finished confidently, and there's a shot of Jake Feener who's been beaten 4 times tonight by the same man. But all of them be good. There's the quality through ball. Wonderful, no question of offside, and then he just slots it past Jake Feener. And the Roughnecks now, with 12 minutes to go, have a mountain to climb. 4-2 behind. Can they respond?
That's Barklage with the assist now. Ambersley had 2 assists. Hardware 1 and Barklage all on the goals for Irvin Herrera. And he might make it 5. And the assistance flag is up on the opposite side.
I mean, we said in commentary about 5 minutes ago that as the Roughnecks push forward to try and get back on level terms, gaps will appear and you have to ride your luck a little bit. It was a quality through ball, it was a quality run from Herrera, but playing 11 versus 10, that's going to happen. So the Roughnecks need something back quickly here, and here's Ochoa. Is he the man to do it with Morgan up front? I don't think Coach Irving can do any more. He's done just about everything he possibly can on a difficult night formation-wise. We just don't want any silly Sammy Ochoa red cards now. A couple of kick-outs there, but here they come again.
Give away. Belubi at midfield. Hack down there from Barklage. This is 10 yards.
A goal here, Pop.
Away from the 18.
I apologize. A goal here for, you know, and this will set up a wonderful last 10 minutes.
Well, it's been a career night from Irvin Herrera. 4 goals in 1 game. Some guys go an entire career without scoring 4 goals, let alone in one game. 4-man wall now. Chad Bond in the middle there. Turns, looks at Pace. Pace has them where they want. Every Roughneck pushed up inside the 18 except for Villalobos and Belubi. Chip from Villalobos. That was Abador that got a piece of it.
I think McLeod was in there as well, wasn't he? I think they jumped for the same ball, but the result was it just went wide, and it's now going to be a goal kick. Time against the Roughnecks now, of course, coming up for 9 minutes of the 90 left, although we think there'll be probably 4 or 5 on the board. And St. Louis want to make another substitution when they can.
Gus just missed getting a piece there of Musa, Barklage, and McLeod steals that one away. Sammy holds for a brief moment, finds Henry over to Abador. Taylor Morgan, bit hot on the ball, back to Mason Grimes. And they're going to say that that ball went over the touchline. Morgan could not save it. And we'll have another sub now for St. Louis. This will be Jeremy Lynch on for Herrera.
Well, Herrera's done his bit tonight. 4 goals. Absolutely tremendous for the young man. And he will be shaking the hands of all the players that have assisted his goals tonight, because he's but you have to put the ball in the back of the net, and he's done it 4 times really very, very well. None of those goals lucky at all. It's going to be a yellow card here, I think, for Mason Grimes.
Well, Hardware had beaten Mason Grimes, and that was the only thing to foul there to slow down Hardware. So Grimes gets booked. Well, unless there's a miracle in some of the late games, I think we have an idea of who is going to be the player of the week in USL.
Yes, I think I'm not a betting man, but yeah, there's a candidate here tonight. Well played to the young man.
Here's a look there as, yeah, Hardware just cut to the inside of Mason. Just a nice little easy touch. Bond to the back, and a goal. We'll see who got a touch on that one. Is that Musa who finished it off? I believe it was.
I think it was the lad from Plymouth in England. Finishes off the 5th goal for St. Louis. And it's all gone pretty quiet around here now. Here's the replay. Good header back, I have to say, across goal, and Musa didn't get a lot on that, but
just enough.
Just enough.
That was all that mattered. And in the 84th minute now, 5-2.
And now it's all getting a little bit pushy, a few pushes and shoves. But the referee quickly in there with his assistant referee. I'm trying to think, Pop, whether the Roughnecks have ever conceded 5. Because as we said, you know, and you
I
said
don't believe
in
they have.
Commentary, you know, we haven't been carved up. It's been a difficult night, this one. 2 more substitutions for St. Louis now, and Anthony has tweeted in, why no defence, question mark. How many times this year can a defender get beat across their face, step off to force an offsides? Well, yeah, certainly defensive duties must be done, and to be beaten 5 times in a game, I'm sure David Irving will watch film of this game and they'll be working on that. Of course, they don't play next weekend, so here's the ball into the box. That's Jake Feeners. So there is a little bit of breathing space here. The Roughnecks will be able to recover from this.
Bond and Barklage have been subbed off, along with Rudolph and Roberts have come on for St. Louis. Colto is the new official jersey sponsor of your Tulsa Roughnecks, infused with blue agave and citrus flavor, blended with lager aged in tequila barrel staves. Delivers a distinctive taste experience unlike any other beer. You can find the 25-ounce man cans at One Oak Field on your next visit. And all the excitement that was here at One Oak has left after St. Louis has exploded here for 4 goals in the second half to lead this one 5-2 here in the 86th. Jeremy Poplin and Dave Saunders with you from the Bank of Oklahoma broadcast booth. Henry with a win. Sammy holds up at midfield, looking for Morgan. Good defending there from Sam Fink.
Yeah, good defending, and Sammy Ochoa did well there, won the ball, held off the midfield player and then tried to chip it through to his attacking mate up there, but alas, good defending, as you said, from Fink. And they've defended pretty well, have the St. Louis team tonight. A strong unit all round. Here's another ball into the box, so that's overhit this time, left to right. And that should be a throw into David Abador in the left back spot. We've got 3 minutes for the Roughnecks, plus some injury time, so probably about 8 minutes left of this one. Be nice if they could get a goal here. Morgan deep in his own territory though.
Here's Wadley. Villalobos is fouled from behind as soon as he had the shot, and this is going to be a yellow. That is assessed. I believe that's to Musa.
It may have been for Cochran.
Was it for Cochran?
I think maybe for the original foul.
We'll see here.
No, you're right, my friend, as you always are. That was James Musa. I thought gone to Cochran. You're absolutely right. Musa gets a yellow card for a slightly late challenge from behind. Who am I to argue with the great Jeremy Poplin?
Well, a lot of people do every single day. See if Villalobos has anything here for pace. He leaves it short, and Watley blasts it off of hardware. Comes back to Villalobos.
Yeah, it's just too short for James Watley there. Matt Watley, excuse me. He could have had, a real thunderbolt towards goal, but it just was a bit of a lazy ball. And we are just counting down now to the 90-minute mark as pace goes, punts the ball right down the middle.
We'll check the Rio Grande Valley score coming up here in a minute, because they were leading 1-0 over Swope Park earlier. And that is who St. Louis is trying to keep pace with right now, is Rio Grande Valley, both with 11 points.
Well, I can tell you, my friend, after 55 minutes is now Rio Grande Valley 2, Swope Park 1. All the goals in the first half. And also San Antonio 0, OKC 1 is the latest score.
Both sides trying to move to 14 points. St. Louis has pretty much got 14 in the bag. Orange County plays later tonight. They also have 11 points.
And they're currently 1-0 up, Pop. Real Monarchs 0, Orange County Blues 1.
So St. Louis could gain some ground if that would, or create some distance between themselves and Orange County if that score were to hold. There's another free kick. This one's not quite dead center, just to the right. This is Lynch standing over this one.
Well, that wasn't far away. Lynch there, I think that was a good piece of play from somebody who stood in the wall that distracted. There'll be 3 minutes to be added on. And Lynch hit that one pretty well, Pop.
He did.
And I think that hit the side of the the post.
Fiener's ball forward, knocked out. Throw in for Tulsa. Up close to midfield. Here's a replay on the free kick from Lynch. Ooh. Yeah, right off the side. Almost. Was able to put that one in upper 90. Just a few inches away.
Got to be quick from Fiener now. We're playing the 3 minutes added on. Is there a consolation goal for the Roughnecks at the end of this one?
Roughnecks will have some time to think about this one. Will not be back in action until they've got next weekend off from Memorial Day weekend. I know Coach had talked prior potentially to giving them a few days off and then come back to action, and we will start the black and gold derby with OKC the next weekend here back at One Oak. And then the next weekend after that, we'll be headed back to St. Louis for game number 3.
Not a bad game to come back on after a little break, is it? Against your closest rivals. That's a good ball, but I think Fiener's going to get there. But, I think it's needed, Pop. I think this break is needed, and the soccer gods have given the Roughnecks a break next weekend, and I'm sure there'll be some tired legs rested, and hopefully, a few players can get back to match fitness. It's not a lot of time off, but, at least it is a little break.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank everyone for watching us on YouTube tonight. Don't forget, all USL matches are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Follow the action on the USL YouTube channel. Ball was free for a second, just couldn't get onto it. Nice cut back. Here's the far post. Ochoa is there. Taylor Morgan will save this one outside the 18. Cuts inside, and defending there from St. Louis is Roberts. Morgan wins a throw.
I think David Abador's okay. He took a bit of a knock there, but I think he's okay.
Drops it back from Morgan. Morgan pulls back. Here is the aforementioned Abador. Belobi. And a giveaway. Forward to Lynch. Lynch and Belubi tangled up there. And we are up past the 3 minutes, and the referee should be getting close here. Maybe one final opportunity. And just cannot find Sammy on the ball from Taylor Morgan. Cochran dribbles inside the center circle. Here's Musa. Just a game of keep away right now, and that will do it. Whew. We had some action here at One Oak Field this evening. St. Louis will improve to 4-3-2 and 14 points on the season as they continue their climb up the table in the Western Conference. Currently now they would be setting after tonight's results. Obviously there are a few other games to be played, but they would be setting just behind Colorado Springs and 1 point in front of Sacramento with 14 total points, and the Roughnecks will now fall to 2-7-1 and remain with 7 points on the season. And how about that night from Irvin Herrera tonight, Dave Saunders? 4 goals in the 10th minute, 53rd, 71st, and 78. And as much credit as he deserves for putting them in the back of the net, he also had some tremendous help with some great assists from Ambersley. Barklage had credit for one of those, and so did Hardware. But Irvin Herrera, career night.
I would go, here's his his fourth goal. Wonderful through ball. I would go as far to say that's the most comprehensive set of assists and clinical finishing that I've seen in the USL either last season or this season. And you have to take your hats off to the young man. And as you say, if he didn't get in the USL Team of the Week, then somebody will have to do very well to beat that. It would have been nice to have seen a game 11v11. It was 11v10 after the 17th minute, but I'm sure we'll pick up the threads in a minute, Pop. But the Roughnecks have gone down to a 5-2 home defeat tonight.
St. Louis coming off of a 2-0 loss in the Kings Cup, rebounds in style with a 5-2 win in Tulsa this evening over the Roughnecks. Thank you to those of you watching in from St. Louis. It was a privilege to be able to call this game here for you this evening, and we will see you back in St. Louis coming up on the 11th of next month. Here on the Tulsa side, stay tuned. We'll continue on with the radio postgame show next. This is Tulsa Roughnecks Soccer, and your home for CBS Sports, 1300 The Buzz.
stretched out to the middle. Back to
Broke it up. There's a shot. They score! They score!
Bernardo Fords. Hey, it's in! Rochester has the lead, and again, it's Sentinels.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.